Hi VC, it's Rob here with another video, and this video is a little bit different for me. It's a contest entry for Mazzy, Norman Maslov. So I'm sure most people who watch my channel are aware of Mazzy's channel and enjoys whack-a-moles. I know I do. I mean, he's got well over 6,000 records, and he picks records out randomly. So here's some of my collection here. So there's quite a lot there. I do have some more records in other locations, but what I'm going to do is what Norman does. I'm going to pick 5 records out randomly. I'm going to pick them out one at a time and show them, so I haven't got an armful of records. So the first record, the thing about my collection is it is not in alphabetical order. Everything is kind of randomly just put in its boxes, so I've no idea. Over there is not A's or anything like that, so it literally could be anything. So I'm going to choose something out of here and just work my way around. Okay, so here's the first one. I'm going to do as Mazzy asks and not look at the record at all. Just pick something out. Pick this one out. Huh. Okay, so that's the 12-inch single. It's quite ironic, really, that I've picked out the Inspiral Carpets, seeing as I went to school with Graham Lambert, who's the guitarist in the Inspiral Carpets, and it gives me a bit of an opportunity to talk about Graham a little bit. I grew up with him, played football with him, played cricket with him, and we went to the same senior school. Now, Graham was a really good footballer, better than me, and he represented the place where I'm from, Oldham. And when he was 14 years of age, he had a really serious injury, and it meant that he took a year out of school. So when he came back to school, he went into another year below me because he'd missed a year of schooling. So, but we still stayed firm friends, and I can remember, I've sort of said the story that I am not a great drummer, but I have played the drums, and when the Inspiral Carpets were forming, I was not around, and they were looking for a drummer, and I've always thought, if I'd have been in the right place at the right time, who knows. But I can remember finding out the name of the band was called the Inspiral Carpets and finding it quite amusing. Went to the first ever gig, which was in a garage, and there was 5 of us there, and they were just jamming really, and the career just, they were around at the right time when the Manchester scene started. The Stone Roses, Charlatans, Happy Mondays, and the Inspiral Carpets were fully on board, and they had about 4 years really where they were pretty commercially successful. They had a bit of a difficult beginning because literally they signed for Mute Records, and literally a few days before they signed, the singer and the bass player left the band because they didn't want to give up the jobs, because they had good jobs. So they had to get a new singer and a new bass player. They've actually reformed. They sort of back together, released an album about 4 years ago, and they've back to having the original singer Steve Holt. So yeah, Caravan is from the album The Beast Inside, which is their second album. So yeah, funny that I chose the Inspiral Carpets and a 12-inch single called Caravan. Now, I'm going to pick one out of here. So, no idea what I'm going to pick out. So, okay. So, this is the Gorillaz. And this was a Record Store Day release. So, this was the only record that I got from Record Store Day. and it's on sort of a greeny grey vinyl. Now, funny one with the Gorillaz. My son entered a competition. Must have been about 7 or 8 years ago. New Musical Express. When he started to get into music, he used to get the New Musical Express, and he actually entered a contest, and he won some original artwork from the Plastic Beach album, and he's got it framed. And when he went to his new pad in Sheffield, he's got it hung on the walls, and it's signed by the artist. I'm not sure who it was, and also signed by Damon Albarn. But I bought a box set of Gorillaz' last album earlier last year, and this is sort of B-sides, and I really like Damon Albarn. I think he's super talented. I know in the 90s, should I say, Oasis and Blur were going at it head to head, and Noel Gallagher's gone on to have a pretty successful solo career. But I always thought Damon had that little bit extra, and he's shown with his versatility that he's one of our best exports over the last sort of 25 years, really. So yeah, this was the only record I bought on Record Store Day. So yeah, The Fall by the Gorillaz. So that's been 2 good ones, really. Now, I think I'm going to pick one from here. I'm going to pick one from here. See what I get. Oh, okay. So this is a record that I've not shown on the VC. Superfood. So Superfood are from Birmingham. This album was released about 3 years ago, and it was one of those. I have only had this album about probably 5 months. It's still sealed. I've not actually played it. I picked it up from when I go to record fairs. There's always kind of sealed vinyl by bands that a lot of people aren't really aware of, but I've kind of got a limited knowledge of sort of new releases over the last 4 or 5 years. And actually Superfood were a band who my son played on his radio show 3 or 4 years ago when he was at uni. He had his own radio show. He ended up actually head of music in his second year, interviewed bands and stuff. And I can remember that he played Superfood. So when I saw this Superfood album called Bambino, I thought I'd pick it up. So, I mean, I've streamed it and listened to it, and it's a good album. But they actually went from a 4-piece to just a 2-piece for this album. So it's kind of reminded me that really I need to unseal this. But yeah, Superfood, and this is a good album, but it's still sealed up. So yeah, Bambino by Superfood. Now, I'm going to pick one of these lower ones. See what we get. Ha! Okay, that's a nice one. So, The Jam, Dig the New Breed. What can I say about The Jam? I mean, this is a live album. So, this came out in '82. This came out after The Jam had split up. So The Jam, I think this might have come out in '83 because The Jam split in '82. And I'm pretty sure this album came out just a little bit after they split up. I mean, the country was in mourning. I know I was. When I saw The Jam in '82 at a place called, what was it? Bingley Hall, which is in Staffordshire. So I can remember on a Friday getting on a coach with about 10 friends, and we went to Bingley Hall. None of us had seen The Jam before, and we got there and we were all together, and after 2 songs we were all over the place. I mean, I went with my Parker on, proper mod in those days, and it was only a couple of weeks later that The Jam announced that they were splitting up. So I think the record company just wanted to cash in a little bit, so they released this live album, but it's from all different sort of periods of the career. So from In the City, which is from the 100 Club in 1977, up to recordings in 1982 at the Glasgow Apollo, But I mean, there's some good standout tracks on here, like That's Entertainment and Going Underground and Start. But front to back, this is a really good live album. So yeah, really nice to showcase this one. So yeah, favourite band really, The Jam. Now, one more. Let's choose one out of here. Pretty happy with what I chose so far. Okay, Prefab Sprout. So when Steve Carlson did his video for go-to albums, this is really one of my favourite albums of all time. Steve McQueen, 1985 I think. I think in America it's not called Steve McQueen, it's got a different name, but yeah, Paddy McAloon. I think they don't get the recognition that they deserve, I think, Prefab Sprout. The first album was Swoon, and then this one was released. But there was an album called Protest Songs that kind of got released off the back of this, from Lanham Part to Memphis, Jordan the Comeback. But even his later albums, I mean, he's suffered with a bit of ill health, Paddy McAloon, but he's from up in the northeast of England. This album is produced by Thomas Dolby, and it's got such a crisp sound to it. But yeah, I can't believe I picked this album out. Totally random. Yeah, I saw Prefab Sprout in 1990 in Manchester. I only ever seen them once, and they put on a great show, great band, and I don't see a lot of people showing this on the BC, but it's just a great album. So yeah, this has been 5 good ones. So yeah, Prefab Sprout and Steve McQueen. So those are my 5, quite easy really. I was quite lucky there what I chose, but I've enjoyed doing a whack-a-mole. Might be something I do in the future, just a good way of showcasing random albums. Just so happens that the ones I chose there are pretty familiar to me. So yeah, I'm sure, like I said earlier, most people are aware of Norman's channel. Just one of the best channels on the VC for me, and you know, I'm not entering this contest to win anything. It's just a pleasure to do a contest that is in Norman's name. So that's it from me. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and bye for now.